Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Undead back again. Sorry for getting this video to you guys one day late. Hope you all understand, but welcome to the 10th day of my 30 Days of Battlefront challenge series, where every single day is a new topic, and today's topic is all about my favorite Battlefront video. Now, I'm going to go ahead and follow the same fashion as my favorite Battlefront screenshot video that I did the other day, and I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to reflect and kind of look back on all the Battlefront videos that I've done over the years and see if I can narrow it down to my favorite one that I've done of all time. So let's get into it. So as you guys can probably imagine, I went ahead and narrowed this down to my 3 cinematic short films, and I'm going to go ahead and try to pick one, but of course we can't talk about any of them without talking about my very first one, Father and Son, which was released in April of 2016. Now, being the very first cinematic that I ever made, it was definitely a huge learning experience for me. I think more than anything, that's kind of why I think that Father and Son is definitely one of the most important videos I've ever done for me personally, because I think I learned so much from doing that. I learned even from going from day 1 of filming Father and Son to even day 2 to day 3. I think people that helped me back then can definitely tell you that I learned a lot, even that short span of time. And as time has went on through Father and Son being completed, and Hunted, and Hope, and now working on my newest one, A New Order, which should be releasing in the next few weeks. I've definitely learned so much, and I don't think any of that learning would have been possible without Father and Son, which was released almost way back in 2016. And for that reason, I feel like Father and Son definitely deserves my number 3 spot for my top favorite Battlefront video that I've done over the past few years, just because everything I've learned, and because it was such an awesome experience to kind of get hands-on and kind of hit the ground running and see what works and what doesn't. Now, if we flash forward almost a year, we have Hunted, which came out in March of 2017. Now, Hunted was a completely different kind of beast from Father and Son. It was kind of the same general feeling. It wanted to include a story, it wanted to have a beginning, middle, and end, but there were several changes that happened to Hunted as it became, from its first conception stage when I first thought of the idea to how it finally came out when the short film was released in March of 2017. There's a lot of changes. The biggest one I can tell you right now right off the bat is how the whole thing was going to start. Ideally, I would have loved to have Boba Fett, or I should say the original idea was to have Boba Fett walk into Jabba's palace and find Captain Han Solo unfrozen out of carbonite. The carbonite that we see in Episode 5 would be unfrozen, and at that point it would be kind of like a visual cue to Boba Fett that Han Solo has escaped. And at that point, Darth Vader was going to come out, and then the whole thing was going to be like, you must track down the Millennium Falcon, no disintegrations, that whole spiel. But that was going to happen in Jabba's palace. But unfortunately, through some extensive testing, we found out that it was pretty much impossible to play heroes versus villains on Jabba's palace in a private match. We tried everything, but for some reason, it would always kick us to the Pipeline Celeste map. So overall, the whole Hunted thing went through a bunch of changes, but undoubtedly, it was definitely my most ambitious cinematic I've ever done yet. At a staggering 18 minutes of total video length, it really blows my mind how we managed to accomplish that. It took us 6 months, and I really have to give another round of thanks to every single person that helped make that project possible, because 6 months for anything is a long time to ask someone's help for, especially them doing it just out of the kindness of their hearts. So I really, big shout out to every single person that helped make Hunted possible. And kind of being the same reason from Father and Son, I think Father and Son was my 3rd favorite because of just how new everything was and how exciting it was to just kind of delve into everything. And Hunted has to easily be my 2nd favorite cinematic I've ever done, just because of the scale and just how ambitious it was. Coming from Father and Son, and that being the 2nd one, the biggest challenge for me was trying to take everything that I learned in Father and Son and turn it up to 11 and see what I can improve on in pretty much every single fashion. And one fun thing I like to do here and now is, if I look back in Father and Son and then I watch Hunted, I think the biggest and most noticeable change right off the bat is the camera movement. Because in Father and Son, the camera never moves. Every single shot is stationary. The camera doesn't pan or doesn't tilt or anything like that. It's just stationary. And that was the biggest change I wanted to pursue in Hunted, which was to add more camera movement, to add that fluidity, to kind of have everything more in motion and feel more connected. And I think that's kind of what I succeeded with in Hunted, and that's kind of the biggest thing I learned from that film. So easily, my 2nd favorite film I've ever done. of all time. And with that said, that obviously leaves one more option, which is Hope, which is my most recent cinematic that I released last month, so not even too long ago. And that one's definitely going to have to go to my #1 spot of favorite cinematic that I've produced of all time, purely because it's kind of that same mentality that I had with Hunted as I approached that. It was kind of trying to compound every single thing that I've learned through the past 2 years, cultivate it, and try to push it even further than what I did with Hunted. And I'd like to think I did a good job with it. I think there's definitely some areas that I could improve on, and no doubt there's still stuff overall that I still have a long way to go. There's no way in hell that I'm satisfied with where I am right now, and I still have a lot of stuff I want to accomplish and skills I want to learn. But I think, looking back on Father and Son to see where I started and seeing Hope at the most recent version of where I've ended up, not including A New Order, which is in the works right now, I think for me personally, it's very gratifying to see the kind of experience that I've gained since then. But I think more importantly, I think I'm more excited about the future and what the future holds, especially with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm really looking forward to pushing myself and seeing how I can improve even more with that game and with the cinematic I'm working on right now. I'm trying a few things differently and seeing what else can work. And overall, I'm kind of that type of person that I'm never really satisfied with where I'm at. Every single video I make, whether it be cinematics or my fan-made trailers or even just kind of my regular commentaries, I always try to make them as entertaining as possible, of course. But at the same time, I always want to make sure that I'm pushing the bar higher. If I keep releasing short films and I feel like nothing's changing, and I feel like they're just the same over and over, that's honestly the scariest thing that, to me, is just being complacent. And I think that's one of the things that hopefully you guys can see and respect about me. But I always want to keep pushing myself to become better and better, and I'm really looking forward to capitalizing on that in Battlefront 2. And I really can't wait to see what the future holds. So far, it's been a great ride. I've loved Father and Son for what it's done to me, kind of getting experience-wise and getting my feet wet. I've really loved what Hunted did for me as far as cinematic creation is concerned, in terms of pushing myself to create something extremely ambitious and something that I think a lot of people have enjoyed, including myself. And finally, concluding with my favorite cinematic that I've done so far, which is Hope, which I think is a very good representation of all of the experience and knowledge I've gained over the years, and kind of taking all of that and putting into one project, taking everything and all the skills I've learned, camera movements, action scenes, tighter FOVs and stuff like that, and all these tighter shots, cinematography-wise, keeping things interesting, scene to scene, sound design, you name it. I'm really trying to push everything I can. And personally, I don't really see that changing ever, and I really can't wait to see what Battlefront 2 has in store for me, and I hope you guys are going to be tagging along for the ride, because it should be very exciting. Really quick, I just want to give a huge shout out and personal thank you to 3 individuals who have been with me for as long as I can possibly remember. These guys have helped me put countless hours in the past 20 or so months that they've been helping me, and for that I really can't thank Green Man Aiming, Soups, and Robert Rowan enough. Without your guys' help, none of these projects would have been possible in the first place. But I think that about does it for this video today, guys. Hope you don't mind it being a little longer than usual, but nevertheless, I'd still love to hear your feedback on thoughts that matter. What was your #1 favorite Star Wars Battlefront video that you've seen over the years from anybody and anytime? I'd love to know. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.